we could go on for days because
The reason why I love questions is because I do multiple classes. In some classes, I have topics. I have hundreds of topics. So there is basically no question someone can ask me that I don't have topic and scriptures on from out of the Bible. And that's how you have to study, precept upon precept, line upon line, here a little and there a little. Okay? Then I like to go off the cuff based on what you're doing now, not a preset scriptures and stuff like that. It makes me have to think because I don't know what question you may ask me. That's why I said ask me a question about anything.
Yeah. So let me ask you a question, all right? Before they took us from Africa, right? We didn't really have a religion.
Talk a little louder.
We didn't really have a religion when they took us from Africa, right?
Okay.
We was more African people were more spiritual,
Okay.
right? So when do you think like the Bible started pretty much, and when do you think the Bible started pretty much, and why do you think like people in Africa was not Catholic or Christian before that?
Wow, that's a great multiple part question. See, that's what I like. That's what I like. Number one, religions is a concept that man creates, of a dogma that he creates. Different men create different dogmas, but the word religion comes from a word, a Latin word, religio, or I-O-N was added on. Religio, R-E-L-I-G-I-O. See, a lot of people don't study. You understand? Religio means to hold back, restrain, and bring down. That's what the word religio means. Go look it up. I-O-N was added on to it, and now it became religion, which is any man's dogma, philosophy, theory that he creates based upon his God or gods or goddesses of a philosophy that he creates. Now, one raises someone up and says, well, this one is greater than me. Okay? So, in Africa, the concept and the word Africa is not our people's word, nor is it their word. The word Africa comes from an Italian man, Leo Scipio Africanus. Africanus was tagged when this Italian man beat Hannibal, a black man, on the continent, which was called in the Bible the land of Ham. Okay, because the Hamites, or black people, the sons of Ham, the Cushites, whose later name became Ethiopians, the Mizraim, whose later name became Egyptians, Libya, and Canaan. Okay, these are all black-skinned people like us that we like to tag ourselves Africa, being our forefathers came on slave ships from off the west coast of Africa, so we look at that as our birthplace. No, all black races in Africa are not the same people. Okay, so we are not them. Okay, and they are not us. They sold us into captivity to the Europeans who came for slaves. They didn't sell their own people. That's why even to this very day, there is a big disconnect and a void between us and them. People from Ghana are not the people that are over here, the black people that are over here. We're not talking about the ones that emigrated on planes over here now. We're not talking about those. We're talking about the indigenous people, the sons and daughters that came in slave ships from off the west coast of Africa. We're not the same people. Now, the name Africa, once again, came from a European man or Italian man named Leo Scipio Africanus. Study it for yourself. There was 3 Punic Wars. The first Punic War, the second Punic War, and the third Punic War. When the son Leo Scipio Africanus crossed, he destroyed a city called Carthage. That city called Carthage is today called Tripoli in Libya. They rebuilt it. Okay, it was destroyed. By who? By the Italians.
Is that when they burned down the library? There was a big library I read in Africa.
The library was at Alexandria in Egypt. 2 different places. Great question. The library was in Alexandria and Egypt. That I will speak about at a later on point in time. Good. So you asked a great point about religion. Religion now was in existence, but it wasn't called religion. See that? It was a belief. It was your belief. It was called the earth sciences. Okay? So the Egyptians had their belief, but today you would call it Egyptology. See that? Belief in their gods, Horus, Isis, And they got their gods from the Sumerians. See that? Which was over there in the Iraq Valley region. That's where they got their gods from. See, people take from other concepts and added. The Greeks took from the Egyptians, and the Romans took from the Greeks. See that? And created their own philosophy.
I mean, they all took some from Africa, pretty much, to
There
make
you
it.
go, the word right now. We now being sold into slavery by our oppressors, which are other black nations and so forth like that. We're not Africans. See, a lot of people think that we're Africans. We're not Africans. In the Bible, there is no word African from Genesis to Revelation. In the Bible, that people read and say that they believe in the word of God, there is no word African. None. Okay? So all these concepts are newly made, newly minted. So if you say Jehovah's Witness, that came from a white man named Charles Taze Russell. He created something called Russellites. And then after the word Russellites, now they changed the name to Jehovah's Witness. You can't find that in the Bible. If you say Methodist, Methodist comes from the word method or a way. If you say Lutheran, that comes from a white man by the name of Martin Luther. If you say you're in the Calvinist church, that one came from a man by the name of John Calvin, who endured something called the Protestant Reformation. Protestant means to protest. Reformation means to reform or change. Now, we as a people, dark-skinned people, are in white churches created by white people, and we believe that, but the book, let's say this is the book that you're reading, don't speak about these philosophies. So you've been lied to, but you don't want to open your eyes. You are asleep. You dead asleep. You dead asleep. You reading in the book, it says black. But somehow in your mind,
That's how powerful brainwash is.
you are what?
Brainwashed. So it's hard to deviate from the regular
Because
programming.
somehow you think that that's going to get, oh God, I can't offend them. I can't offend them because if I offend them, God ain't going to save me. That's where you at.